Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
Wait till you see what we found for you. Hi, I'm Kelly Wilkness here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today we're talking fall finds under $50, and you are going to be amazed at what we found for you.
Oh, this was so fun. I found so many fun things, and it was just, it's so hard not to hit buy. Add to cart.
Add to cart. I know. I'll come back later. Add to cart. Yeah. We sacrifice ourselves this way for the listeners. It's all for you. Okay. What's your first item?
Oh, I found a gold metallic pumpkin. I think you have to have some pumpkins somewhere. So if you don't have real ones, this is a really beautiful one I found from Grandin Road. It looks like mercury glass, but apparently they're made from resin. So this is about 8 inches in diameter, and the stem has a really very elegant kind of swirl to it. So I thought these were really lovely. And, the other thing you can do is get some of these metallic-looking pumpkins and add them in with real pumpkins. That's always a nice combination. And, we love our velvet pumpkins, too. So if you have velvet pumpkins, you can mix these in with those.
Grandin Road is one of those catalogs that just always comes. I always feel compelled to look at it. They have a lot of great things for your front door, your entry, your porch, right? Yeah. Kind of like Front Gate. And maybe they have the same company. I don't know. They seem to come at the same time, but Grandin Road's pretty great. I have purchased things from them in the past. Okay, so my first one is something that's so simple, and you could do it without the item I'm talking about, but a bowl of green apples. I love a bowl of green apples. Sort of transitioning from summer to fall here and where Anita lives, it's hot still in September and even into the beginning of October. So you may not want to go so far into the fall colors yet. So this is a great thing to put out on your dining room table, your kitchen island, your kitchen counter, something like that. Green apples, but particularly in a silver bowl. I think I first saw green apples in a silver bowl was when I was at P. Allen Smith's house, and he had a lot of green apples in his decor and a big silver, and I'm sure it was a very real silver bowl on top of a stack of beautiful decor books, and it just looked so sharp in his entryway. But I found for you all a silver leaf. Now, I don't mean like gold leaf. It's actually in the shape of a leaf. So a silver leaf bowl. It's on Wayfair. It's $44.99, so just under our $50 limit. And I think it would be beautiful with nothing in it, but it would be great with some green apples in it.
What a great idea. And I love what you're saying about using natural elements like apples. And I found that the apples are going to hold their shape better than the pears. I think the pears ripen so fast
they do.
that I'm not able to keep them out very long. So I think green apples are definitely the way to go. They look beautiful in any kind of bowl. I have a wooden bowl that I like to put them in that we inherited. But also, if you had a beautiful antique transferware bowl, I think that would be gorgeous in there, too. I'm just thinking about it because I just found a purple transferware bowl at one of my favorite thrift stores yesterday.
Score!
I was with my friends, I know, and I tore out of the room to go back to buy it. And so the one friend said to the other one, "What did you say to upset her? She just left so fast." Actually, I just remembered that I needed to get the bowl before someone else grabbed it.
Exactly, especially if those two are collectors too. You wanted to, need to ditch them and go get it.
Then
you can go back and chat.
Is the purple? Yeah. So I came back with that, and they're like, "Oh, that's where she went." Yeah. So you would know why I left, but they weren't sure. So, but I like the natural vein that we're on. And so my next item is a wheat stack. And the one I selected is from Ballard Designs. It's real dried wheat, and it's bound with twine. There's a small and a medium. So they're $19 and $25, not on sale. They might, who knows, they might be on sale later, but that's the regular price. And, the nice thing about them is they do look natural. They are natural. You can keep them year to year if you store them well. If you're putting them in a box, I don't know how well it's going to go for you, but if you have a closet where you can set them up where nothing's going to bang against them, I think they're going to do nicely. And the other thing is, you might be able to find them locally somewhere as well. I mean, this is one place that you can order them online. But yeah, and I don't know, if you have a wheat field, I guess you can go cut your own.
Wait, don't you have a wheat field?
I have hay, not wheat.
Oh, hay. Okay. Not really sure what the difference is, but okay.
Hay is for horses.
Hay is for horses. I've heard that. Okay. All right. Keeping with the natural idea, before I get onto some man-made items, this requires really kind of no purchase, maybe. I mean, you did probably have to purchase the pumpkin unless you grew it yourself. Save your stems. We've talked about this from early on in the podcast days. Save your real pumpkin stems from year to year. And here's what I like to do on them. Put them on faux pumpkins. So you could even put them on inexpensive velvet pumpkins because, not all velvet pumpkins are created equal.
Well, and that is the difference between the good ones and the not so good ones is the stem.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly. The difference seems to lie in the stem. Mm-hmm. It's key to a good-looking faux pumpkin, certainly a good-looking velvet faux pumpkin. So if you save the stems and if you get sort of inexpensive velvet pumpkins, probably anywhere. Now, when they took off and they were a craze, of course, it dribbled down and they were showing up probably in Walmart and probably in Hobby Lobby and places like that. So you take off the plastic stem, which is probably just on with some glue, and then you glue on your real stem. Voila.
What a great idea. I love that idea. And speaking of velvet, my next one is velvet ribbon. So I found some gorgeous velvet ribbon. It has soft edges and the back is a silky finish. The colors are blue, cream, mauve, rosewood, and taupe. And you could use these on a chair back. You could put them on a light fixture, on your chandelier. Really, you could put them about anywhere, on a doorknob. I mean, they're just so beautiful. And I love expensive, beautiful ribbon. And the secret is, yes, it's expensive, but save it and use it again. And the nice thing about this velvet ribbon is this is really would be beautiful for fall, but a lot of these colors you could reuse for Christmas time if you wanted to.
Oh, that sounds so pretty. How about the most adorable thing that I found? Little felted acorns with real acorn caps.
Okay, now I remember talking about little acorns somewhere, and you made fun of me saying, those are too small. Who wants to? Because I think it was people, it was using nail polish on them.
Oh.
Remember?
Oh. Well, you mean painting on the acorn itself?
Yeah.
Was I making fun? I don't think so. But this is not painting an actual acorn. This is having like that felted material. So the plump little part of the acorn.
So these are already made. You don't have to.
These are already. This is not a kit.
Maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, this is not a. This is buy a set of 12 for $14 from Etsy, and the link will be in the show notes. And this is an opportunity for you to pop onto that Vodacast app and see these felted acorns, and you're going to see how adorable they are.
And if you want to add to them, go gather some acorns, get your nail polish, and not the hat, but you paint the other part, the different colors. Stop laughing.
Okay.
Let them dry, and then we can mix them together.
Yeah. If you haven't been put in the home where you have time to sit around and paint your acorns, you can just use acorns au natural mixed in with the felted acorns. I'm just going to take it and make it even easier.
That's another idea. So we got lots of ideas there. Okay, so another idea is, because, you were talking about the front door, and that's what I'm thinking about, guests coming over, and you want it to look really nice, and you want to freshen up your front door. So how about a nice front doormat that's all fresh? So I found one that is a black and white buffalo check doormat. And the thing I really like about it is that it's a really large size, 23 by 37 inches, or they have one that's 23 by 43. So this is a big size. It's cotton and polyester, and it's really, I saw it. It's just so pretty. I just think that would be so nice.
I love black and white buffalo check.
Well, and the picture shows it near some beautiful white planters with roses in them. So I thought, that just
I
looks
might
so
have
pretty.
to get this. I might have to cross over to your list. Yeah, because when we had bespoke decor, I got so hooked on those buffalo check pillows that we were making. And I love them, and I bring them out. They're really good for, I think, any season, but they really look great in the fall. They look so cute with like orange and things like that. I know you don't love orange, but I like a little touch of orange in the fall. Speaking of a little touch of orange, it's growing on you. Oh, good. Well, yes, I know. You're doing this whole red thing soon. We'll get back to that when you do it. Getting back to a little pop of orange, how about a vintage book stack? Love a vintage book stack.
Mm-hmm.
I was spending an inordinate amount of time on Etsy, again, for research for this episode. I did it for you. But I haven't bought myself any vintage books in a long time because I haven't been going to these estate sales. But guess what? There's a bunch of them out on Etsy. And you might pay a little bit more. Still going to be under $50, but you might pay a little bit more than you would if you made the effort and drove and got to the estate sale in the morning and got online and went in and found the books. But hey, you can just spend $36 and get a stack of vintage books in the fall colors sent right to your door.
Wrap them in some velvet ribbon.
Oh, yeah. They come wrapped in twine, I think, or at least that's how they're photographed. But in that velvet ribbon would be so good.
Great idea. In fact, we were cleaning out the garage and the closets and the attic, and I found a bunch of vintage books from inherited books. So some of the books we got rid of, but the best looking ones we kept. So yeah, that was nice, and I have them sitting out in a bookcase. And
are they from Kevin's dad?
Yes,
yes,
he was. Oh, yes, he was a dean of a seminary, and so he had lots of theological books. So,
how beautiful!
And many that we couldn't read that were in different languages, Greek and
that's so
Hebrew.
Cool.
And
could he read all those languages?
Well, I doubt it. But he had the books.
Maybe he just liked the spines like we do.
Well, I mean,
but that's
think,
okay.
Yeah, no, I think
he's not shallow.
Well, I think he used the books for research, but yeah.
I'm sure he did. And now you can use them for decor. I love it. Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And the deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing. and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off. Yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com.
More velvet, because I love velvet. I found some beautiful velvet pillows in these rich fall colors. There is dough, which is kind of a putty, gold, ink, oasis, red, sage, sienna, slate, and terracotta, which is an orange. So there's some beautiful colors here. I found these on Ballard Designs, and they are a linen cotton blend, which I love. And there's two sizes, 20 by 20 and a 12 by 20. And I think these would be so beautiful. And again, many of these would translate well into Christmas pillows, because you think of velvet and rich colors for Christmas as well.
So it's a linen and cotton velvet material.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. And what was the price?
Well, it's under 50. But I didn't write down the price.
$49.99.
But I know it's under 50 because I wrote it because
I was going to say that's a great price, under 50, even if it is $49.99 for the pillows. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we always talk about buy your inserts, buy some nice quality inserts, and then you don't have to keep replacing your pillows. You just buy covers for that size.
Yes, that's the way to roll. IKEA also has that line, and of course I would butcher the name and I can't even remember it if I could remember it, of those velvet pillows, but they rotate the colors in and out so much. You wouldn't know whether or not you were going to get the fall colors or not.
I actually bought some pillows at IKEA, and people just can't believe it. They're actually vintage Turkish rugs that they cut to size down to pillows. So they're all one of a kind.
I saw those.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was such a thing you would not expect to have at IKEA.
Right. So I went there recently, and of course, they didn't have any anymore. Obviously, this was probably just a one-time purchase.
Yeah. I mean, how many one-of-a-kinds can you have? If you have too many one-of-a-kinds, people start to get suspicious as to whether or not it's actually a one-of-a-kind or a
like
misprint.
The one-of-a-kind pillow you had last week.
Right. I only have one of a kind once a week, and then I have it again the next week. How about a plaid scarf, air quotes, that you can use as a throw? It's a 51 by 51 inch scarf. Now, I'm a small person. I mean, that would be like me wrapped in a comforter going out. I mean, if I had that just around my neck, I could wear nothing else.
Okay, so I think these are so versatile. I love throws or scarves. Because, yes, I mean, sometimes if it's a scarf, you can wear it out. You can use it as a throw in the room, but also they make great tablecloths.
That's right, Scarlett. You can just rip it off the window and make it into a dress. You can throw it on the table, whatever.
Here's the thing. Most tablecloths I just don't like because the fabric seems cheap to me. So I usually like going with materials that are woven. Like this plaid is probably woven. It's not printed, but a tablecloth is usually printed. So if you want a nice quality woven tablecloth, you're really going to be looking at a scarf, a throw, or you're going to have to go buy the fabric.
Right. Or you're going to pay upwards of $500 probably for a good sized tablecloth that's really done right.
So let's say you say, well, okay, I found this scarf, but it's not the right size for my tablecloth. For my table. So what you can do is do like we do with the rugs. Put your foundation tablecloth on, a cream or white, depending on what color your throw is. So if this is kind of fall colors, I would probably do a cream tablecloth and then put this on top.
It is fall colors, and cream is the base of it. And they do have different versions of it in different color waves. Now, it's on Amazon. It's $12.29 today. So don't get crazy on me with the quality, but it is woven. It's probably acrylic, but it has 4.5 plus stars and 647 reviews. Now, I made sure to take a look at not all 647 of them, but I didn't want to be offering up something that was just a piece of, crud.
Right.
This looks great. The one that I like is sort of got the cream background. It's kind of got like a caramel color, and then, like a really deep, almost terracotta-y kind of orange, pumpkin-y orange. Really pretty, very versatile. But I could see that, as Anita's saying, even tossed over a wooden table without anything under it could look great. I also like doing what I did, I don't know, I'm losing track of what years it was, but like last year, the year before for fall, I kind of scrunched up this plaid runner that I had, so made it kind of more of a 3D rather than laying flat. And I could see doing something like that with a scarf like this and sort of tucking in the pumpkins and maybe whatever else you have going on your table. You could also tuck it behind one of these velvet pillows that Anita told you about from Ballard and just have it sort of drape over your sofa or the arm of a chair. At 51 inches by 51 inches, this is a good size. You're probably not going to want to get under it and watch a long movie, but for a decor purposes, bam, $12.29. Everybody should get one.
And I'm thinking about my dining room table, which is a Restoration Hardware, kind of that unfinished wood. So I really have to protect the table. Any oil on that, it's going to completely destroy the finish. So I have to really cover my table when we eat. And so I would be putting like a vinyl tablecloth on, then cloth on top, and then this on top of the cloth. But if you have a table that can handle a little bit of water that's spilling over, or a little...
like mine that was left out in the yard for a while.
So if you can handle that, then I wouldn't put anything underneath it. Even if this doesn't completely cover the table, I mean, that's a look where you're just kind of going down.
It's so cash and zen and just letting it all hang out. That's the
right.
look.
So rather than a skinny table runner going the length of the table, this would be a wider runner, if you want to call it that. And it goes, and you would run it the other way.
Right.
And that's a lot. I do that all the time, and I just love that look. And especially if you're not going to eat there, it doesn't really matter at all.
Exactly. You kind of like put it to askew. I like rugs like that too, especially when it's a layering rug. It's like, I don't want it dead on when I'm walking in the room. I like it a little to the side, and that's how I would do it. My table's an oval, so it's kind of maybe a little bit easier to do that if you have an oval or a round, but I think you can figure it out.
Yeah, you just need to be careful.
Okay, I think it's your turn, right? I just went on about the scarf throw.
You kind of did go on a little bit.
Well, you joined in. You had things to say.
I did. Okay. So the next item is another pumpkin, but this one's very different. This one is ceramic. It's a cream color with a crackle finish. It's ceramic, and it has blue, scrolly kind of leaves on it. Kind of acanthus leaves looking.
Oh. Is it painted? The leaves painted, or are they a relief? Are they like really?
Well, they're blue. I don't know if it's hand painted. It might be actually. It looks like it might be hand painted, and then it's on the cream background.
Oh, pretty. But I'm saying like the leaves aren't like a separate thing. They're painted on it.
No, right. It's painted exactly on the pumpkin.
Now you've seen the sweater pillows. I really like those. In fact, I was going to make one out of this Irish sweater that my dad had bought when he was in Ireland, and my dad is not like a big sweater guy, probably never wore it. I took it out of a box that I had because I gave it to me. I had it in a box. Some moths ate it, so I couldn't do this. No. I was going to make a beautiful sweater pillow out of it. Sadly enough, it was just really chewed up. There must have been a lot of moths, or one big, very hungry moth in there. But you've seen that kind of sweater pillow, oftentimes made of those fisherman sweaters and whatnot.
Yes.
Well, I found a shop on Etsy that is doing a different kind of sweater pillow. Really pretty. Has a more of an earthy, modern edge. And just, it's fun when you see something that kind of a category you're familiar with, but people do it in a different way. These are very nubby, very thick yarns, and she's making mostly lumbar size pillows, which makes sense. It's probably easier to make a lumbar out of a sweater than it is a 20 by 20 or something like that. So I'll have the link in the show notes. Have a look. Lots of them are very neutral. A few of them have a little blue in them, or they might, some of the yarns might pick up a little bit of like a shimmer of a pink, but these are so yummy and so fall looking. And the name of the Etsy shop is Thread Good with an E on the end, but we'll have the link in the show notes. Really, really pretty. And the pillows range from about $30 to $45.
Nice. Well, that's all my items. So do you have any more?
I have 2 more items. Can I keep going?
Yes, keep going.
Okay. Copper pedestal bowl. This is a really good looking copper pedestal bowl at $20. And I'm going to give you a secret link to a secret site that a lot of people don't know about. Jamali Floral. I've used Jamali for different things when I've had to get like a whole bunch of small vases, something like that for an event, if I was doing floral design or something like that, or some florals to use in my own designs. But it's a really great resource. They have faux flowers, they have faux succulents, they have all kinds of vases and things like that. So I found 2 things from there that I wanted to share with you. This one copper pedestal bowl. So it's bright, shiny copper, like you can picture a brand new copper pot. It's made of that kind of shiny copper, not distressed, for only $20, and it's 10 inches wide at the top. So you could put a lot of cool stuff in there. I was thinking, I think I'd really like the apples in the silver, or as Anita said, in her wooden bowl, but maybe in this copper, artichokes, pomegranates, like something a little bit different would look so pretty in there. And then they also have this antique brass lantern on this site. It's 9.5 inches tall, and it is only $14.99. And it definitely has a modern bent to it. It's very a slim amount of metal and mostly glass, and it's kind of longer and taller. But this would be a great piece to put on the center of your table. It's going to give you some nice height. And then, of course, if you're using the rule of 3s, which we love, maybe you add that pumpkin that Anita kicked us off with, and then maybe you add a little bowl of felted acorns, or you can add in a stack of vintage books. Anything would really look great with it. And you could put this shawl / throw / tablecloth under it, and wow, there you are for fall. And probably the whole thing wouldn't cost you more than $50 to have everything that we talked about in that one vignette. So I was so excited to find all these things, and I'm definitely going to check out that doormat that you talked about, Anita.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we are offering consults if you are needing help with your home. We love helping listeners with their home. And we just had a consult yesterday, and we had so much fun talking to Stephanie.
Oh my gosh, Stephanie, she made us laugh so many times during that consult, and she seemed to really get a lot out of it. It was great fun, and it was so much fun to put her palette together for her.
It was fun. So just know, if you need extra help beyond what we do in the podcast, we are here to help you. We would love to help you, and we will include a link in the show notes to our consults, a little information about how you can get set up to get one if you're interested.
Yes, and we're doing something new now. We came up with a new idea that we thought you might really like, so Anita is going to tell you all about it.
This is a segment, we really don't have a name for it, but it's a decorating terminology. We thought we'd go over some terms that maybe aren't that well known and kind of explain what it means. So today's word, the first word, I thought is just such a fun one to say. I just love saying it.
I love saying it too. For a long time, I wasn't sure how to say it, so I didn't say it.
Well,
when I first started getting into decorating, I would see the word and I was like, I want to say that, but I don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to say it.
We know how to say it now. It's chinoiserie.
Right. So if anybody else is out there, say it along with us and you can practice. Then you can say it in public.
Right. Well, and it's a French word. That's why it's so fun to say.
Yeah.
So it refers to a decorating style inspired by Chinese art, and it can be painted or lacquered on furniture. It can be used as a theme on wallpaper or fabric. And the interesting thing about it is it's not necessarily authentic Chinese style, but it's Chinese style interpreted by European artists, mostly in the 17th and 18th century. So when I think of chinoiserie, I don't really think of anything currently being made, but I think of more this antique style. And again, it's kind of something you would see in even dishes. But this is something that like I said, it doesn't have to be necessarily authentic. Whereas now, if you bought something that was Chinois, it was Chinese style, it probably is actually made in China. So that's the difference. Back in the 17th and 18th century, it was a big deal to get something shipped from there. So they started kind of copying the style. And so when it was made in Europe, it was actually cheaper than the real thing, whereas now it would be the opposite.
Exactly. Isn't that interesting? Times are a-changing. Yes, yeah. So it's inspired by, really.
But you can look it up and maybe look at some images online or look on Pinterest to see chinoiserie. It's a beautiful style, and there's so many lovely things that are in this style. I think it's a fun thing to look for.
Well, we can add a link to it in Vodacast, and if you check it out, you can see it there. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Sounds good. Now, what is your crush for today?
I'm really excited about my crush, and I'm surprised it took me this long to get around to this one because it is a clothing company, but mostly focused on button-down shirts. Has anybody heard of Frank and Eileen? I love Frank and Eileen shirts. Frank and Eileen as a company, first of all, it's named after the founder, Audrey's grandparents. And sometimes you'll see Frank and Eileen 1947 because that's when they got married in Ireland. So Frank and Eileen. And the company itself believes that women are changing the world. They believe in slow fashion, sustainability, and that entrepreneurship should be a force for good. So the founder, Audrey, she was a former engineer, Anita, and she decided to reinvent the button-up shirt for women. And as I said, the name of her company is inspired by her Irish grandparents, Frank and Eileen. Now, these shirts are spectacular. They are not inexpensive. They're not under $50, I'm very sorry to say.
Right.
But don't tell Audrey, but she probably knows. You can find them on Nordstrom Rack.
Oh,
and that's
nice.
where oftentimes I buy them, although they do have good sales. So I'm going to include the link to the Frank and Eileen main site in the show notes, and then you can try to find them in the wild someplace else for a little bit less. But let me tell you, this is like we talk about your home decor. This is an investment piece. Say if you got a white shirt or a chambray blue or your favorite color, or she has some lovely small prints, almost like Liberty-ish type prints. This shirt is going to fit your body the way it should. Picture like a man getting a shirt tailored, that men used to do that, or some still probably do. Mm-hmm. She has really made the button-up shirt work for women. And there are different styles. Really well made in America by a woman who is really doing good with her company. Highly recommend Frank and Eileen shirts.
And you have one of these?
I have several of these.
Oh.
It's that kind of piece of clothing that you can put on and you always know it's going to look good.
Yes. That sounds wonderful.
How about you? What's your crush?
My crush is another podcast. And
I love hearing about new podcasts.
The name of the podcast really piqued my interest because I always say that I was raised by wolves. And the podcast is called Were You Raised by Wolves? The answer in my case is yes.
And look how far she's come, everyone.
I do. Well, I will say my mother-in-law was a wonderful influence because she knew etiquette, being the dean's wife, and then she organized the Board of Visitors and the Board of Regents dinners for a major hospital system here in Houston. So I learned a lot from her. Let's just put it that way. So hopefully I've come a long way from my time in the den with the wolves. I love my parents.
But
my parents. But,
running with the wolves.
Yeah. But it was a little wild. So they kind of cover etiquette situations that you might run into today. So, and I think people think of the word etiquette, they think of that as being something for the 50s and the 60s, but not something for today. But etiquette is the thing that makes society run smoothly. You want to know what you're supposed to do in certain situations and what the polite thing to do is. And etiquette is thinking about other people. So I think this is just so worthwhile for today. And there's so many delicate situations that are not in the old Emily Post book, etiquette book that they talk about now. For example, what do you do with coworkers that eat too loudly? Apparently that's a big problem. And what about the in-laws that invite themselves over all the time, or neighbors that ask very personal questions? How much money do you make, or other things? This is the kind of thing that they cover. So it's been very helpful. And I did actually have a situation recently where I did kind of use some of their thoughts. And it was kind of a situation where someone offered some unsolicited advice, a neighbor who was kind of, in my grill about something. And instead of dealing with that, I just kind of ignored that and just went on to something else, and it smoothed over. So there you go.
Oh, well done. Yes. Sometimes it's best just to let it slide by. I'm excited to listen to this. And it sounds like the topics would be interesting. And I bet the hosts are. I bet they're pretty interesting people.
Yes, they're very funny. Very funny. Yeah. It's Nick and Leah. Nick Layton and Leah Bonema. Oh, boy. I probably mispronounced that.
That's okay. Well, she'll tell you how in a nice way.
I'm sure I'll get a note. Right? Mispronunciation.
You'll get a note. You can say Chinoiserie. You're okay, baby. Don't worry about it.
Well, this was so fun hanging out with you today.
It was.
Wasn't it? I loved it. Thanks so much for listening. We enjoy you so much. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.